Hey YouTube, this is Valen. This is episode 1 of my Defiance of Fate longplay. This pack features really tight custom integration between witchery, blood magic, and thermal expansion slash galacticraft. Timeslice did a really good job on it in my opinion, and you'll see how close that stuff is. Recipes are all changed, and it has a really great progression feel to it, so you feel like you're accomplishing something, but it's still challenging at the same time. We're going to start out in single player real quick, just briefly, because the amount of food that gets consumed and the time that it would take to read the manual actually matters. Food becomes kind of a big deal. We thought we were alone, stranded in this dying corner of the galaxy, with the nearest stars generations away at our fastest speeds. Where could we go? Who could possibly find us? With our resources dwindling and our prospects for space travel limited to only our small system, we turned to new ways of thinking. Our long fractured society banded together to combine technology and magic. A breakthrough was made. With materials our dreamers gathered from the spirit world, combined with metals our probes found in our nearby moon, we were able to invent a new science. We could create our own worlds, in their own dimensions, and it seemed the farther out we probed, the better the materials we discovered were for advancing this science, with the best being located in the asteroids at the edge of our system. We began to work feverishly to advance this science, and to construct new rockets for our long-abandoned space projects, so that we might acquire these celestial materials and save our species. We thought we were alone, but we were wrong. We awoke something dark and malicious with our new science, something that did not want us to find or create new homes. They swept through our small system, destroying our survey probes in the asteroids and establishing strongholds on the nearby planet and our moon. Then they began to destroy our world. We knew we were doomed. There was no time. None of the new systems were ready. You were chosen, given this semi-intelligent guide and the only seed of life we were able to create, and sent to the original test dimension. It is now up to you. First to survive, then to rebuild our dimensional technology. You must learn the ways of the dreamers. You must find the resources to rebuild the space program. Then you must reconquer our system, drive out the invaders, and perfect our science with the materials that are out there. You will create the perfect world. You will be our final legacy, our defiance of fate. So there, at least there's a reasonable explanation for why you start out standing on a block of dirt. Okay, so that time thing I was talking about, see down here? This has been ticking away this whole time we've been reading. You can see it ticking right here in the light gray behind the food there. That is consuming our saturation, which is the yellow around the meat haunch here. This pack has diminishing returns on food in it, so it's going to be difficult in the beginning for food. And we'll end up doing a lot of fishing, which I will probably time-lapse because it's really boring. Okay, so let's get to the world we're actually going to play in, shall we? I've actually set up a multiplayer server to run this on. It actually took quite a bit of time, and I'll go over some of those details later. But basically, I had to do this because I needed a camera account. And you'll see why. I want to do some time lapsing and some other things. In particular, I want to have a sort of a overhead view of the whole thing while I'm building the entire platform. You can see my camera account in the corner there with its lovely single block of dirt on sky. And there we are. First thing I'm going to do here is turn on hardcore questing mode. Alright, 5 lives left. Don't die that many times. Alright, let's do our first quest here. I'm going to blow through these quests pretty quick. Most of these don't have a quest reward other than getting to the next quest. Largely in this pack, the quest rewards are knowledge notes anyway, so they're never really going to be game altering. What is game altering is the stuff that you learn how to do as you get through these different pieces, or the things that you unlock by getting to the ability to do those things. So there is an easy mode quest here. It gives you a bunch of starting stuff. I don't really want to take the coward's way out, so we aren't going to do that. I'm going to go here. Oh, one note about this quest here. It will count against you um, later. When you look out here, there's a percentage completed here. It is one of the ones that you can never complete because when you complete it, or when you complete the Seed of Life quest, it removes the ability to see this quest. So, anyway, let's go do this. And you'll submit here. Yes, we have a quest book. Now, it asks you to pick one of these. This choice is actually semi-important. The acacia grows at weird angles and is sort of difficult to predict, so it's not a great farming tree. Um, the spruce grows nice and tall and it has a lot of wood every time we grow it, but it grows taller than you can reach. And that means you're going to be placing blocks and jumping on them and that kind of thing. And that's not a great plan for our food down here. Maintaining this is going to be hard enough, and we don't need to add to that by jumping around. I think birch is really the best. You can always reach the top. The tree size is totally predictable. The leaf pattern is more usable, if you will. I know I'm overanalyzing things, but you could do it with any one of these ones you want, but that's the one I like. All right, as you see, the quest is going here. Now, it's going to want us to make some wood and barrels, and it's going to want us to get some string, and I'm going to get most of the way through this whole first line here before I even come back to the quest book. So, all right, let's get... All right, see now I'm stuck. So I'm holding shift, and I'm trying to walk sideways, and it's not letting me. This is, you're sort of inside an invisible block when you first start. You kind of have to get out of it on your own, which is sort of annoying. There. All right. Now, this has the twerking mod installed, so you can grow trees really fast in it. Anyway, let's get through some of this stuff. Yay, taking inventory, because that's the most important thing ever. Now, I'm going to go ahead and craft this right into a crafting station. It will give you credit for the crafting table on the way through, even without going back to the quest book. I'm going to use it as one of my floor blocks, because why not? Here's a neat little trick you can do. Now, see, I've got this one extra piece of wood, and I really need more birch slabs. In this mod, you can put these back together to get the right number of planks, and now they're all slabs. Let's get some blocks out here. I really despise that bug. Later, it's not going to matter so much, but in this first few minutes, it's kind of painful to not have the right, or lots of extra slabs, so. Okay. At least in the beginning here, I gotta do a lot of checking the blocks under my feet. Got a little glimpse of my camera person there. The vanish effect from Forge Essentials, I think it's from, doesn't carry over across um, logins, so there we go. I got wood and have some lovely fireworks. Alright, let's get one of these planted. Okay, let's get some of our other pieces down here. So we're going to need these. It's important that this is 2 blocks away. That way there's no leaves above it and it will catch rainwater. Almost as if it's on cue. One of the things about these trees is that if you go around the outside first and you take 2 trips around the outside, you won't lose them to fast leaf decay. Because if you take out the inner ring first, it'll quickly remove the leaves on the outside. Since the number of saplings is basically our barrier to progression at this point. Look, we got a silkworm. He won't do us any good till we have some more dirt, but soon enough. Oh, that was the wrong place to put that. I have a design that I like doing, and my tinker stuff's supposed to go there. It's a pretty minor penalty, a little extra wood. See that? I just about fell in the void because of that bug. I can't make the platform too large yet because I don't have torches, and without torches I can't make sure that I don't spawn stuff. But that said, um, that's not exactly terribly far off. Now you saw I placed down those water barrels pretty early. Um, it's important to catch the first rain. You see it filling up there. Every 1,000 is a bucket, so and this one's already full. We'll need the water in one of these barrels to make clay at some point, and it's best to have it set up so that you don't have to deal with getting it over there. But the interesting thing about these barrels is you also need them to make dirt, so you need to have one that is not getting covered by rain too. So see this one here, I got a slab over top of it. I'm going to fill it up with saplings, and it's going to compost, and I'll get more dirt. Also, you can break it with your hand, but this crook gives you extra chance at saplings, and it's the only way to get silkworms, which are required for progression. I generally ignore the pile of leaves on top of the tree just because it's annoying to get to. Unfortunately in this pack there's kind of a lot of this, so I'm probably going to speed up time here and you need a lot of those. May as well just make them now. Yes, I'm probably going to go through all of those in time lapse. Okay, it's time to make some of the tinker stuff. To do that, we need some sticks and some of these patterns. Now I've got a stencil table, which is the one we need to go in this spot here. And we need a little more wood before we can make the rest of the tinker stuff. Let's get that going. Alright, we need one of these patterns on top of a chest, a log, a plank, and a crafting table. I always forget one of them. Oh yes, because that's the first one of those I've made. Make a chest real quick. Alright. If I get lucky, I might get these back, but probably not. I got one. I like this setup because they can both use the, well, they can use the stencil table, but interesting. I could have swore this could use it too, but I guess not. This can, in any case, and it's the one that matters. So we'll go ahead and leave the rest of those in there. I'll use them at some point here. I think the first thing it makes us make is an axe, so let's go ahead and make those two patterns. Over there. Generally make my water tank a 3x3 grid. It means there's plenty of water when I need it, and generally I'm not out of it. And there we go. I'll do the same thing with the barrels over here. Which apparently I've offset by one, but hey, that's okay. Alright, let's see if we get lucky and get the barrel back. Nope. Alright, so these trees grow exactly 2 blocks from the center. And that's important because you don't want the silkworm to affect the primary tree you're trying to get wood from. So there should be, this is the leaf block here, there'll be the next leaf block, then that. So 2 leaf blocks. This would be the trunk if we wanted them to touch, but we don't. We want them to be apart, so we need to go out 1 more block here. And we'll go ahead and put one of our dirt blocks on there. And a sapling. Get that one to grow. You know what? Let's put that down on the floor. We should have a 1 gap. Go ahead and throw our silkworms up there and let them start infesting that tree. Okay, so about this point, you're probably going to notice that my food is really low. Now we start out with a little tiny bit of food. And if we shift right click, we can open the bag and just eat right out of it. Before we do that, let me show you what's in it. There is a foot long, and you'll note diminishing returns start after eating any food 10 more times. So we're given a little tiny bit of reprieve in the very beginning, but it's not a lot. We're going to eat probably all 3 of these right now. Well, we'll see. Maybe not. Soon. We're going to eat the footlong for sure. So you can tell right there, see how it's flashing, that it will fill up that much. Whenever it's all the way full like this, you don't want to eat yet, because you don't want to risk losing the extra bit of saturation off the end of that. So yeah, we have our mango juice left. Anyway, back to trees. Okay, looks like our tree is done. Unfortunately, flooring around it to be able to collect stuff. So let's take care of that, shall we? You know, just in case I die. I'm not particularly death prone with falling off the edge, but there's not much point in not saving. stuff in a chest. Need any of these things on. Well, we'll keep that stuff. God, it gets me every time. I think it does it a lot more on server than it does in single player too. Alright, let's take this tree down and get some string. We need 18 string to progress to the next step. Which means we might need to do another tree. We'll see. Oh, maybe not. I guess actually technically we need 21 because we need a fishing pole too. Not worth it. Alright, I think it's time we built out this platform a little more in general. Should be at least 10 blocks on every side from our center dirt block there. Let's see, one more. We need what, 5 more? Well, that's about right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to make here is the sieve. To make that, you need 2 of these. I forget what they are. They're silk mesh made from string, which is basically spider silk. Alright, and with that thing, we basically put stuff through it. In this case, dirt. And we do this a lot. In the beginning, we're after those stones. It'd be nice to get an oak tree too, so we could get some apples. What kind of seeds are those? Grass seeds. Well, we'll need those eventually. Right now, these silly little stones are like one of the most precious things ever. See that? I only got 2 that time for just breaking it, whereas I normally get 3 or 4 from using the crook on it. Alright, let's have a look in the quest book here and see how far we got so far. If there's some little thing it wants us to do in the middle that I didn't do. Alright, so we did get wood. We made a crafting table, slabs, and a crook. We collected 8 saplings. We made barrels and water tanks. And we produced more than 2 dirt. We then got some worms, put them in a tree, and made a sieve. Now it wants us to make 8 cobblestone so we can make a furnace. The way you make cobblestone is take these stones and you put them in the window like this, and we have almost enough. Should only need 1 more piece of dirt, which, now that I've been talking here, may be ready. Oh, look at that. We got some seeds. So, way down the road, when we finally get iron to make a mattock, we'll be able to actually start a farm. So there we go. 8 cobble. Produced from 8 or 9 dirt, which was produced from 8 saplings each. And there we go. And the next thing it wants us to do is make charcoal, which we will gladly do because we need torches. Alright, so we're going to take 1 and 1. It's important to do just 1 the first time because the resulting charcoal is worth a lot more fuel-wise than the wood itself is. See, it's almost burned out already. But this 1 piece of charcoal will actually do 8 pieces of birch, which I'm going to make sure it has before I get a couple more pieces of wood here. So I was talking to you earlier about my server setup. This pack does not come with a server download for it. It's really intended as a single-person game, which, as you can tell by the way the questing works and the fact that it's a skyblock, that it basically is a single-player game. But like I said, I wanted the ability to do a camera account as well as other things, so I went ahead and created a Forge server just on my local machine. Not the open to LAN thing. I actually went and downloaded and installed the Forge server stuff and had to basically it's a bit of a process. I had to take out a bunch of mods. The client side mods won't run server side, and then Forge Essentials, which is required as part of my camera thing, that wouldn't work with Fastcraft, and basically it took me most of a day. It's so weird having a light. Anyway, I'm gonna contact Time Slice and see if he'll let me zip it up and post it somewhere. I have played this pack before. A couple of times actually. I've always played it in hardcore questing mode, and so far I've run out of lives at varying places, getting much farther each time. Um, this beginning part is very familiar to me, so that's why I'm doing it mostly without looking at the book. Look at that! It's amazing. You start out so resource deprived, it's kind of amazing to be excited about torches. So, oh, I better make that before I fall in there. Alright, what's it want me to do next? It wants me to make 8 charcoal. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I already made more than 8. It must not have counted it. There. Okay. Ah, yes. Now it wants me to cook a silkworm. I am actually only going to cook one. Oh, I don't know. Let's cook the rest of them. They're actually kind of hard to see. It's a nourishing morsel. Hmm. Oh, I didn't take it out. That's why. And I've already made torches. Alright. Now we're getting into hammer territory. I think we're going to go ahead and break the episode here. I'm Valen, and thanks for watching my first episode. Ta-ta for now.